James White served in the U.S. Army's 71st Infantry Division during World War II. After arriving in Le Havre, France in early 1945, his unit fought through Europe and participated in the liberation of concentration camps in Austria.
Okay, thank you for being here today. Tell me your name and where are you from?
James H. White. I'm from Wallace, Tennessee, Warrior.
And how did you enter the service?
I was drafted in Blount County, Ohio.
Were you drafted?
Drafted in there and went from there down to Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
And what did you do in Fort Thomas? Was that boot camp?
I know that was where they took in 2 weeks later. They sent me to a camp.
Okay, and where was your boot camp?
My boot camp, Camp Parsons, Colorado.
Okay, and how did you get there?
They took us up there on a train.
On a train.
Yeah.
And what was there a lot of soldiers about to enter the war?
Yeah. We were in there and when we took a basic training, they give me instead of handing me a rifle, they give me a mule.
Okay.
We carried our guns, 75 meter guns, and went up in the mountains and trained, trained with our little 75. We carried in little 75s on a mule, Mm-hmm. We had 4 mules to carry that 75 gun.
Wow. And what was that experience like to you?
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
I'm about used to that snow in there, Boy, it was knee deep, when we was taking the basic training and all that.
And what year was this? What year did you enter the service?
I entered service in 1945.
Okay. And then how you went over to Europe?
Yeah, I went to Le Havre, France.
Okay.
We landed, going to France.
Yeah.
Going into war.
Mm-hmm.
And
how did you arrive in France? By boat?
no, yeah, we was on a train, on a boat, going over.
Okay. And which unit were you in? Which unit you were in? The 71st?
71st. I was in 609 Field Artillery.
Okay. Of the 71st Infantry Division.
Infantry Division, yes.
Okay. And when you arrived in France, what was life like? I mean, did you start fighting right away, or did you?
No, we stood went up there and stayed there a month before we went.
Mm-hmm.
And they was already in France, on ancient France.
Mm-hmm.
They done got that far down.
Okay.
And we got all the guns and everything cleaned up, We went in combat in native France. And that was about a month later.
Okay. And
you heard the Battle of the Bulge.
yes. Tell me about the Battle of the Bulge.
I had a brother up there fighting.
Okay.
And I was in Le Havre, France, and he was up there in that Battle of that Bulge, trying to get him.
Did you have any contact with him, your brother?
No, I looked for him just that time.
Were you ever worried about him?
Yeah.
No.
He worried about me too.
And when you were still in France, how was the food that they gave you?
Oh, it's poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your daily routine like while you're waiting to?
They was cleaning up around and it had come a rainy tail walk right after we landed. And boy, we had a little old tent, you know, with mud and everywhere.
Mud everywhere.
We went.
And then after that month, you started moving your way into France, and did you head to Germany? Or
We went and joined the front in native France. About a month later, you know. And we fought through France to native France. And then we went to native France. We wound up in Bits, France.
okay,
And that's when we was going across the 6 feet line. You probably got line. It's got some, it's on that red now.
okay, in the red book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Did you have plenty of supplies?
yeah, we was pretty well supplied up, you know. But we carried our rations in our pockets, you know. Had them little old K rations and everything. And the States, I was the first cook.
Okay.
Yeah, in the States, you know. But when you went over in the combat, they gave you 3 boxes of it, you know, K rations. They weren't too good.
And then you made your way into Germany? Is that?
Yeah, we crossed the 6 feet line in Bits, France.
Okay.
And that was the last place in France. And then we went over to Germany then when we got there. You heard the 6 feet line, hit the pictures in the headlight paper, that red book there.
Okay. And when you got to Germany, what was the mission of your unit?
We was field artillery shooting him across the tanks was in front of us and foot soldiers. We back in the field artillery. We was back about a mile from front lines all the time. You know, we was shooting over them.
And you came across some prisoners of war?
Yeah, we get that book right there.
This one?
Yeah. That was our commander there.
Hold it up for the camera. That was the commander. And what was his name? What was his name? Your commander. Wyman. Okay.
Yeah. And this. I thought it was loading on the train going to Fort Benning from Fort Benning, Georgia. We was loading that T4 there is me.
Okay.
And we done a lot of training in Fort Benning, Georgia then after.
At Fort Benning, Georgia.
Yeah, Fort Benning, after we fixing to go overseas, you know, and everything. And that's on the 6 feet line there. That's where we went to.
Hold that up while you're talking.
6 feet line here, where we crossed. They had them buried in the ground, you know, 6 foot, keeping us keep going over, you know. And we took our field artillery and rode them things down where we were going through.
Was that pretty neat to do
yeah,
that?
Pretty neat. we went through there, and well, they hit us pretty hard, you know, when this was, on one side was Germany, and the other side was France.
Sure.
And they run us back about 2 or 3 miles on that before we got through that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we finally got them, the Germans going, got them going back other way. After we got through ancient France, they went on a run. And most of the time we was traveling, trying to catch up with them, you know. And of course we was back a mile from the infantry. But when we come up out to that one, they put all they had, Germany had all they had, they run us back about a couple of miles. But the infantry finally got them going, you know, they're going.
Okay.
And we like never caught up with them going down. When we went to Berlin, we could see Berlin, you know, the officer, but we turned down to the right there and took out after him, you know. And we got down there about 2 or 3 miles, you know, and they didn't catch up with them or something. Anyhow, they went down there and got to him. And we went on down to Star Street.
Okay.
And we were on our way down there. We go run into camp, you know, where they had slaves. Germans had slaves in there working for them and everything.
Uh-huh.
And everywhere you could see up on our, there was people from, they were most 85% of them was Jews from Hungary and Germany.
So
Hungary.
Jews from Hungary,
Yeah,
Germany.
they had them in there, and every one of them looked the same. They was starved to death. They was bodies everywhere. All the soldiers you ever seen come through there. And they run us through there pretty fast. Wouldn't let us round, you know, here. But after the war was, after we got Star River, we went to Russia. And we stayed there for about 2 or 3 weeks. And they started sending us back, you know, of course, they started training for Japan, you know, the artillery did. And Japan surrendered, you know, that's when they stopped that back. And we started back up through there, and we stopped our Star Street. And they was going to get soldiers, you know, to bury them dead. Right, they was just throw them in trap jail. When they died, you know, they just throw them in trunks and and right there is all the
Hold it up for the
that's
camera.
all the dead bodies where you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And
those are Jewish people or German?
yeah, they was 85% of them was Hungarian Jews.
Okay.
And they used that camp for slaves, you know, working them put back there. And we, after just before we went in there to get them bird down, they were gonna sign me to help the bird down.
Mhm.
And they finally got prisoners, Germany prisoners, and they put them over digging, trying to burn.
Mhm.
But they had them, most of them was dead, was laying around that time.
So the German prisoners were responsible for burying them. After-
Yeah, we guard them and, made them dig them graves,
Sure.
right there. And,
So as you were probably in your early 20s.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what's that like for a young man to see?
I was about 21 when we got over that. But I was drafted when I was 19 years old. I got it. Got them pictures over there.
These?
No. It's and down there.
Yeah, the little boy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was kneeling down there, and he said in broken English, said, so the boy said, first bird this guy decent this time. He said he's my brother.
To bury him decent because that's his brother.
And he had another younger brother than him. He would look like me about 14 or 15. His younger brother looked like he was about 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he, that's his rewards over, well, like I said, I was the first cook. I went back in the kitchen right there, and he come by there, and him and his brother, younger brother.
So that's a real scene that you saw
Yeah.
in person, and someone
Yeah,
drew that.
scene, yeah.
Wow.
And he said, what, he told us the brother decent, said
Sure.
this time. And about a week after that, we was stationed there, and I went back in the kitchen, started, and we hired him and his brother to wash their dishes, and clean up and everything out there, just, to help them some deeds, They was all looked like they'd starved to death. They were running the war.
So when you were a cook,
Yeah, I was a cook and went back in the kitchen there for.
how many men did you have to cook for?
They about 95.
95?
Yeah, about 95 right there, and we had him and his brother working on it. And them two boys could speak the English pretty good. And their mother, she started this in that camp too, They had the whole family there. And she was an English teacher in Hungary and Germany. I mean, and where they're from, Czechoslovakia and they told us stories, things right around about like that. But after we left there, they started up they had us. The people had enough points, they got start discharging them after the water's over, you know. And I didn't have enough force, so they set me up to headquarters next to Berlin, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're having all them trials.
So the war was over.
The war was over.
And you were still there.
And still are.
Okay.
I served 9 months after that. And we go around and instead of putting me back in the kitchen when they sent me to headquarters, they had all kind of cooks, you know what I'm saying? And they signed me another thing. They gave me a rifle and a pistol. And I guarded CIC boys. That's the same thing as FBI. And they were going over Germany everywhere, arresting them prisoners, you know, what they got out of the uniform and went to the house. Them CIC boys, they were soldiers like I was, but they know Germany, you know, and speaking German now. We go up through there sometimes in the morning, you know, to a man's house, and they give me a slip saying, written in German, I couldn't speak German. Said, when we come up out of that house, them CIC boys know where he'd be at and where he'd be sleeping at. We get up our before daylight and what door he might go to. And there was 3 outs our turn. They sent me to one of them. They gave me that slip, you know, telling him that he was being arrested. And they went to the boards of the FBI's, you know, and they arrested him and we took him. And we went in there in a Jeep, but we had to go down about, I guess, 500 or 600 yards to the road, and there was another 3 more somewhere else. So they come with a wagon and padded, I think it was padded so they wouldn't kill themselves. And we waited till they come by, and when they come by, they loaded him. We looked in that Jeep thing there, what they had, you know, had it all wood. And they had 3 or 4 more people in there. They were taking them to Nuremberg, Germany, to try them, you know. Mm-hmm. They were trying. And we went back there and we got that other assignment, you know, just going around disarming. Mm-hmm. We get to small town somewhere and they have a destination place. They say, bring all your guns and everything and haul them up on that. They just haul them up in big old piles right there. And we done that for about 2 or 3 months, going different places, you know, in Germany at that time. And that little boy, we finally moved out, you know, they moved. But one of them stayed with us all the time for a long time out in that camp. And they tell her stories, you know, what people at the time.
Okay.
And they were telling us about one after they come, after we were back up there, you know, they were letting all them prisoners, you know, was able to go. Some of them crawled out. They was to a week, you know, some of them said they hadn't eaten 3 days. Water, you know.
Were you able to
Yeah,
to give them food, or
yeah. Well, most of us, we had them K rations, you know, and everything. We had the chocolate bar. We give them that chocolate bar, and they get sick, you know. And they give us orders, said, don't you give them no food no more. Said, we'll get stuff in there and get feed about that. And while one place there was, three of our soldiers were standing smoking cigarettes and were getting them that time. And one of them crawled up there, but he kept motion, you know, saying something in Germany, you know. I mean, and they just said, and that third guy, he thought he wanted a cigarette. He handed him a cigarette, he eat it.
well,
Everyone of them looked like brothers and sisters, you know. They were lost so much weight. They
they're starving.
are starving.
Well,
And but after 9 months, they finally give me a discharge. Sent me out. Went over on the boat, and come back on the boat.
and then
We was on 7 days
when you
going
got-
across.
when you got back home,
I got back and went to New Jersey, you know, and they give us a big lunch and something we hadn't been used to, you know. And they fed us like kings. And then 2 or 3 days later, they sent me camp out of Bury, Indiana. You've been discharged.
and how did it make you feel that you served in World War II?
Oh, I learned a lot, you know, about going up there, and we was glad we got them all. They got them run to the Star Austria, and they all were glad to get that war over with.
And how does it make you feel today,
Oh,
being
yeah.
older,
Yeah,
you get
Yeah.
thanked a lot?
yeah. I get about every time I go to the grocery store, they give me a thank you. You know, but,
You've earned it.
yeah.
Anything else you want to tell us today about your experiences?
Well, no, we got along pretty good on that, but
But we're proud of you, and we thank you for doing this interview. And
yes, sir, we appreciate it. And I'm sorry about losing some of that. I thought I had to all get it up there.
it's okay. Well, thank you.